galactic blast, a cosmic adventure in praising God. Yay!
Oh, well, that almost didn't work. Almost, though.
At least you weren't on the ceiling like you usually were.
Oh, okay. Maybe tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll try a hang glider. Anyway, what are we doing today? Have you got another science experiment for us, Barnabas?
As a matter of fact, yes. I thought it would be safer for everyone here if we figured out just where the event horizon is on this black hole, which also happens to be the coolest thing we ever ordered from the VBS Decorations catalog.
Okay, Barnabas, what is an event horizon?
You know, the point of no return, where if you get any closer, you can't turn back around, you'll be sucked in no matter what.
Ooh, that would be good to know. Then we could draw a line and put a warning on it, like they do on everything these days. See, there's even one on my microphone. Warning, when near this microphone, do not say anything you don't want others to hear.
So, how do we find this event horizon? I'm not volunteering, you understand, to be your guinea pig this time. And actually, come to think of it, I don't remember volunteering yesterday either, when you so rudely grabbed me and sent me flying.
Oh, that's okay. I think fodder would work better for this one anyway. There's more of him. So, what we'll do, fodder, is tie you down to this board down here, and then inch you closer and closer to the black hole, and stop inching just before it happens.
Before what happens?
Well, if you go beyond the event horizon, you don't get caught by the particle jet that's fortunately been spitting us back out, then
what?
Well, it's called spaghettification.
I like spaghetti.
But not if it's you. You see, the gravity is so great that it grabs your feet first and it stretches you into this long noodle before you even know what is happening.
Suddenly, I find that I've lost all interest in scientific experimentation.
Well, don't worry, Father. I'm sure it's perfectly safe if Barnabas is in charge.
So, let's see. We'll start like this. We'll tie you right here. See? That didn't hurt. And we can move you a little bit closer. Ooh, I should probably get a tape measure and a marking pen so that we can measure and mark exactly where it's safe. Okay. He's been spaghettified. Oh no! My best friend, he's been turned into pasta.
I'm just kidding. He's still down there.
Shoo! Well, don't do that again. You scared me.
Scared you? Well, did we find it? Did we find the event horizon?
Well, I think so. It's right about here. So don't get any closer, kids. And we better warn Lauren as well. And if I'm not mistaken, here comes Space Shuttle astronaut and member of our congregation, Lauren Acton, right now. Hi, Lauren.
Thank you for inviting me to VBS Sunday. But before we go ahead, I have to get my checklist. Every pilot has to have a checklist in order to know what to do It was great to be a part of Galactic Blast. You know, a little over 25 years ago, actually 25 years ago next month, I had my own Galactic Blast.
Wow. Well, Lauren, we were just talking about, getting sucked into things, and I was wondering, how did you decide to become an astronaut in the first place? Did you somehow go beyond the event horizon?
Well, not Barnabas kind of event horizon. But remember that everybody starts the same. Everybody starts out as a little bitty baby and has to learn everything. And if you're going to go in space on the space shuttle, you've got to know more than just the average fodder. And so that means you have to go to school a long time and learn stuff. Well, learning stuff is fun, but what you learn is important too. And my oldest brother sort of put me through an event horizon when he asked what I was going to study at Montana State College, and I said engineering, and he said the funniest thing. He said, why don't you take physics? It's harder. Well, I thought it over, and I took physics. And so I became a scientist instead of an engineer, and that's why I got to go into space.
Wow. So could you tell us a little bit about what it was like to be an astronaut and to go up in the space shuttle like that?
Well, there was a lot of interesting things. First of all, it takes a long time to get ready. We were 7 years preparing for that flight. And so I got to play astronaut for 7 years. And then finally we got on the space shuttle, and the countdown was going perfectly, and it got all the way to 3 seconds, and then stopped. We didn't go because there was a problem with a valve in one of the engines. Well, we came back 17 days later, and we got the countdown to go to 0 that time, and we took off. And let me tell you, that's a galactic blast. That's really good. And everything was fine for 5 minutes, and then one of our engines stopped. Well, the shuttle has 3 engines, and we were able to get into space on the 2. And then an amazing thing happened. People had told me about being sick in space. Well, I decided that that was foolish. No reason to get sick. There's no bacteria or infections or anything. It had to be in your head. And I wasn't going to get sick. And I got sick in 90 seconds. Took about 4 days to get over, and someday when we're off by ourselves, I'll tell you about throwing up in space. So going into space has a lot of interesting things. The most interesting one is weightlessness, and the second most interesting one is looking out the window at this beautiful Earth.
One thing I was wondering, whether being an astronaut changed your relationship with God somehow. Did it change your faith in any way?
Boy, that's a heavy question. And the answer is yes, sort of. Because we've been singing about how magnificent and amazing and remarkable God is. And God is really the universe, everything. If God is God, then everything has got to be part of God, and God has got to be part of everything. And so I got to thinking about that, and I realized as I looked out the window of this beautiful big Earth, that there's a lot of people down there that didn't go to VBS. And how do they think about God? They didn't have the chance to learn these songs. And then I began to realize that God is big enough and important enough to love them just as much as He loves me.
That makes me think about the Bible stories that we studied this week and acted out, because Jesus kind of had an event horizon too, didn't he? He seemed to draw people towards Him, even people who couldn't see Him, like the blind man, and people who could, like the woman at the well in the stories this week, who both knew Jesus was passing by. They felt His presence, and they
was spaghettified?
No, they were saved, as are we all, And that's one thing that makes us all able to say again and again, "Is this a great day